Hello, what if I say to you that yesterday my car fell in love with my bed and gave birth to a unicorn? You won't even think that it can be true. Well, if you believe in an omnipotent God, you will actually have to believe it. Because a God that can do everything, he can do even the impossible. That's why it's wrong to never question your faith. So let's just stop and think. Let's ask questions to discover. Don't be afraid of questioning your faith. You will be more knowledgeable by asking questions, do experiments and reason. Humans are best at thinking, so start thinking, not just believing. Let's start with God, or rather, gods. There was thousands of gods that societies believed in, but you deny them all. Christians think that they are right, and deny all of other gods. Muslims think they are right, Hindus think they are right, Buddhists think they are right. Well, we know that they can't be all right, so let's think for a moment, and consider on what basis we deny the other gods, and in what reasons do we believe in our God. Let's start by asking, how do we know the things that we know? Well, it's evidence. And there isn't any evidence for any God's existence. You only need faith. And what is faith? Faith is believing something without any evidence, without questioning it, without using logic and reasoning, without even trying to think that you might be wrong. How absurd is that? If you want to find the truth, you cannot use faith and you know it. You have to explore, do research, do some experiments, look for evidence, use reason and logic. Often people will come up with this stupid argument and say, how did the universe be created? And if they don't find any answer, they will point to God, or rather, their God. Now we can see the same stupid argument from ignorance a couple hundred years ago. At that era, people didn't know anything about lightnings, and they asked the question, how does lightnings occur? Stupid people who didn't find an answer made up a god named Zeus and blamed him for lightning events. Now today we know how lightnings occur, therefore we removed the god, Zeus. Today people are still doing the same mistake by blaming God for creating the universe because they didn't find any answer. If you think about it, how did God came to existence? Why not saying, I don't know how did the universe came to exist, instead of pretending that you know, and claim that you're only one God did the universe based on no evidence or reason. Don't do the same mistake that most people did hundreds of years ago. So now we know that a God that can do everything cannot exist, because that includes even the impossible. And also, if you are an intelligent person, you know that God is a stupid idea, like I said. Because they don't find any answer, they will point to an imaginary creator. But let's face it, how did God came to existence? How did God made the universe? God made the universe out of nothing. One of the big questions that people rarely ask is, how can we define a universe that is created by a God, and a universe that isn't? Or, what difference is God doing? I know that a lot of people will come up with stupid excuses, but you cannot escape the truth. An omnipotent God cannot possibly exist, and even the idea of a God is absurd. Thanks for watching, comment and subscribe.